university, and for some crazy reason I've gone through my whole career in such an isolated space. I started life in corporate, and I call it corporate hell, but I like the vortex. It was a much more positive, more sort of, different view of corporate life. But I went through life completely, my corporate experience was a completely isolated experience. I saw women as being against me, and I was, attacked by women, and there were certain women that tried to take me down and threatened by me, and I've encountered some really negative sides of female bosses. What's the French of a female boss? The villain. But I've also encountered incredible, powerful women who have mentored me and who saw my youth and never crushed me. And so part of my journey has been by being, sort of seeing the bad side of women in leadership and the bad side of women in corporate. I've, aspired to never crush a woman, even a young, undeveloped female who still has such a long journey ahead of me. I had a young intern quit on me the other day. She sent me a long rant about things that we didn't do for her, and I felt, and I didn't reply, but I felt, my darling, in 10 years' time you'll know the answers to all of these questions. You just you're 19, but I was so happy to be a part of your journey. So I don't know if it's men, to your point, who have put us against each other, or if it is our DNA that pits us against each other in this primeval struggle, for resources. But either way, I think it's amazing that there are open-minded women here today to start to work together and not, against each other. So we're going to try and tag team. Now, this is the first time I've given this talk, and this is the first time I've worked with Marika in this kind of space, but I think you're going to come away with some great takeaways. So I've asked Marika to work with me on this talk because I can speak about digital marketing, I can speak about personal branding, I can speak about websites, SEO, paid media, social media, I can speak about becoming an influencer and turning yourself into an amazing brand, which is maybe something we should talk about. But it's a new space for me to talk about my personal journey and how I've navigated this chaos, this headstorm, this toxic space. Because can I be honest with you? I think most women, it's not men who are attacking you, it's not women who are attacking you, it is you who are attacking you. And so you listen to the voices inside your head and you still believe them. And some of us are at different levels of still believing those voices. Until very recently I didn't even discern that they were voices, it was just me. And now I'm starting to, through the work I'm doing with Marika, put some distance between me and those voices and start to make some choices, as Joy Marie was saying. Okay, so very, very quickly, this is a little bit about my story. I started life in marketing. I've worked around the world for some companies and different industries, and I was blessed to be put into senior management quite early in my life. And so I was also sitting on excos in my 30s, and I was a very undeveloped person because one of my bosses called me in and said, Dylan, you don't have to know all the answers. And I was like, do you know what you're paying me? I was like, I have to have all the answers. He's like, no, you can actually ask other people their opinions. Oh, really? I had no idea. I thought I had to come in there and tell people how I was going to be. And so it was that kind of learning and journey that I've been on. But I started my own company in 2011, a digital marketing agency, because I couldn't take corporate anymore. And the vortex gave me the sign, Linda. The vortex kicked me out, so I was retrenched, well, pregnant. And but it was the thing that I needed to, it was the push out of the nest to start the business that I've been dreaming of since I was in my 20s. And I also run a digital marketing academy because I love to teach. I started my own influencer journey because I really believe that social media has given us an unprecedented opportunity to share our learnings and insights and our journey with each other. And if you're a trainer or a teacher or an inspirer or somebody who is really passionate about something, social media is your platform and your tool if you can get over your own limited thinking and your own thinking of what people are thinking about what you're thinking. So, so I'm a marketer, 20 years of marketing experience around the world, and I've got also some degrees, extraordinary. Marijke.
So, thank you so much for having us here. This is the very first time I have one of these things on. So, bear with me. I teach a lot of yoga classes, and it feels a little safer, a little less intimidating to have people in tights and be able to tell them, be upside down and stuff. So yeah, I can't do that. So and I think the last time I stood in front of people to talk without tights on, I mean me, was in university many years ago in Berlin, and those were still times when I had to talk in front of people. I would have vodka for breakfast instead of coffee. And it is very funny, but at the same time not. Because it was my only way of dealing with the emotions and the fears and the anxiety. So it's quite exciting to come back to the space I left so many years ago. So from university I went off to India. I said, this is not for me, this world. Let me hide away. I'm not going to even go into that too much. I'm an entrepreneur, as I learned today. I work as a coach, I work as a yoga teacher, I'm a mom, I'm all of these things. But, well, first of all, I'm here and I'm very excited to be here and share with you. So where are we going to go from here?
Yes. We'll go back to me. Let's talk about me, enough about you. So
I'm much better at listening.
So I put this terrible photo of myself up because this is kind of like frazzled me. When Marijke met me, it was like just chaos, absolute chaos. And so me in my undeveloped states, just trying to literally cope through life. When I started my entrepreneurial journey, I saw myself as a dairy cow that had for my entire corporate life been told where to eat, where to drink, and there was always other cows around me and I was in a herd. And then suddenly you take this dairy cow and you stick her in the wilds of Africa, and I was like, what's that one? Where should I go? I'd be like one step forward, what was that? Oh, it's my shadow, And I was terrified. And my entrepreneurial journey has turned me from a dairy cow into, in America they've got these longhorn steers, like I'm Denny cattle, but they've got these horns that stretch like 11 feet from point to point, and they can take on a grizzly bear and a mountain lion. And I feel like I've grown into that as an entrepreneur. I'm brave. I nearly closed my business in the beginning when one of my clients refused to pay their 4,000 Rand bill. And this is too hard, I just can't do it. And I remember reading back in my journal the other day, I was like, 18,000 Rand. How am I going to pay this invoice, Lord? Like, help me. I need the 18,000 Rand. Now I'm like 180,000 Rand. It's like you just grow. Your journey is just exponential. But what I did in my journey is I hired a lot of coaches to help me. And one of my coaches told me, because I wanted to grow my business and I was, a little bit intimidated, I'm up against these big agencies, and how do I saw myself as small in my own eyes. And you know what, one of my coaches I was paying a lot of money to every month, he said to me, your hair's too long. You should tie your hair. You shouldn't wear skirts. And he also said to me, the same guy, he said, no woman has ever run a successful ad agency. He killed my confidence so badly. I actually went into another depression. Because I believed him. And then it took a while for me to just think, no, F you, China. There's no way. And so then I met Marijke, and I fired all my other coaches and my shrink and everybody else. So this was me when Marijke met
I remember the first few months I would sit across from her, the table across from her, and I think every week Dylan said, oh, I've got the answer now. I know what I need to do. I need to restructure my whole business. But like every week, she was like, I've got it. I've got to do it this and this. And I'd just be like, okay, amazing, okay. And she'd be talking, and I felt like trying to catch her attention somehow in between. But it took a few months for her to settle down and actually arrive on the chair there.
It's so true, because something Mareka coined is business and busyness. I thought I was doing business, but I was actually just toxically, psychotically busy. Like, you know, and I'm toxically, psychotically busy at home on a weekend, in my pajamas, repacking the cupboards. Like, what is wrong with me? And then I used to have this delusion that I'd share with Mareka. Mareka, I just want to like live on a farm and just relax and play with my kids. And then she helped me to see that, no, I will be toxically, psychotically busy on a farm. It doesn't matter if I'm living in a cave, I will be dusting that cave, moving the rocks around, you know, so there was a problem. I had a serious problem. And I also was plagued by my own fears and self-doubts and anxieties, and it was literally like there was a pole of dark cloud over me of perpetual anxiety. Does anybody live under this pole, this dark cloud of perpetual fear? I remember once in a while, like I broke out of it. I was like, wait, I feel weird. Oh, I don't feel fear, this is weird. Let me go back down. And now I'm like living in a blue sky world. So when Mareka, maybe one of the biggest epiphanies that I had was that there was this chaotic headstorm up here. And this is what each of us is sitting with, especially as women, because we are miners, we mine our own brains, we constantly like mining and excavating and thinking and processing. I guess it was just me. But I was constantly like working and thinking and analyzing. I had a to-do list of about 40 pages long, you know, and I expected my team to be the same. And I started to realize, wait a minute, maybe this isn't truth. Maybe this is just a crock of shite. And maybe there's another space. And so I started to drop down into what I called my spirit space. What Mareka calls being, and other people call other things, and I like to call it mindlessness, because I don't want to be near this thing. This thing, there's a big toxic side here, full of cock and bullshit, that you should not be listening to at all. And then there's a good side here, like how to make toast, and how to drive a car, how to create an emailer, and some social media posts, okay? Then, other than that, stay out of here. Just don't even go here. This place, unhelpful. And so I learned to drop down, and this is going to sound incredibly, I don't know what, but it is the absolute most beautiful thing I can give you, is when you learn to drop down here into where God is, you become limitless. And I was so limited, I was tiny, I was breaking, I couldn't cope with life, it was too hard. And down here, this is where God is. So, me 2.0 reinvented. I found a place where no matter what is going around here, my husband lost his job, and I was like, that's me, it's going to be okay. I was not freaking out at all. And you know what the biggest manifestation for me was? I wasn't constantly trying to reboot my business and redirect my path, you know, and pivot the company. Well, now we're going to be this, now we're going to be this. This is like some toxic psychosis of trying to like always find the way. But actually now that I'm sitting here where God is, I'm couched in Him like this. Mareka leaves her body. I'm just like Mareka now. Like I'm actually sitting inside of Him like this. I boot up into Him. Doesn't it make sense? Like a big robot. I climb into Him, and then when I'm sitting in here, I just know that the way is under my feet. Like I don't have to constantly psychotically be planning my vision. Where am I going? Where am I going? It's just, I know that my feet will find the right way. So I have found this calm, centered, peaceful space. And it is awesome. Okay, so I've asked Marika to share just a handful of really practical things that she took me with that I use to stay in this space. Because I can tell you that I can very quickly go back up here. And Marika and I meant to go through this talk together, and I was telling her, Marika, I'm freaked out, I'm back in my head, I don't know what. And she's like, well, are you maintaining your God state? I was like, no, I haven't done anything for 2 weeks. She's like, okay, well, there it is. So you got to maintain the space. So Marika, without any further ado, thank you.
What changed? So I feel like one of the first things I had to communicate and allow Dylan to see is that we are all infinite choice makers, and it's not just choices as in I'm going to restructure my business. So what it means is that every moment in time we have access to an infinite number of choices. Every single moment, every step I take is a choice I make. And some of these choices we make consciously, and most of them, by far, we make unconsciously. They've become patterns and automatic responses through things we've learned in our life. So, because we make most choices unconsciously, we think they're not choices, but yet they are. Every single moment, every word I say, every movement I make is a choice. So, for instance, to give an example, if I chose to insult you, most of you would probably choose to get quite cross with me and not be too happy with it. And it feels like this triggers that, but it still is a choice. So same if I paid you a compliment, most of you would feel pleased, flattered. But it's a choice. So the same as if you could choose to not respond to the, what did I say? The insult. Thank you. But you could choose to just hand it back, or you could. So you get what I'm pointing at, right? Like it's a choice. It might not feel like it, but it is a choice. And so, so even though we are infinite choice makers, once we drop below that, we actually have become these bundles of conditioned reflexes almost. And talking about gender bias, that lives in this space of reflexes, in this space of conditioning where our behaviors and reactions become automatic and predictable. And this is from the classic example of conditioning, Pavlov's dogs, where the food is offered, the dog, what's the word? Salivates. Then the food and the bell, and the dog salivates, and eventually the dog salivates just hearing the bell. And it's kind of what we do. And we hate to acknowledge that, but it is what we do. So, so conditioning happens through our upbringing, life, family, society, media, all sorts of things. Everything we experience creates this I identity. This is me. This is what I believe in. This is what I'm good at. This is what I'm not good at. And we stop questioning these things. We become this persona, and then we walk into this world defending this persona, which is just an idea, which is just a concept. So then we blame and judge and argue and fight and restructure and do all these things, keep ourselves busy to suppress. So we contract really and hold tight. So we wanted to share this video as part of this conditioning thing and really linking it to our topic today, the girl boss and the women in leadership. So how do I play it?
Click the arrow again.
Hi, Erin.
Hi.
Okay, so I'm going to just give you some actions to do. And just do the first thing that comes to mind. Show me what it looks like to run like a girl.
My hair. Oh
Show me what it looks like to fight like a girl. Now throw like a girl.
Aww. My name is Dakota, and I'm 10 years old.
Show me what it looks like to run like a girl. Throw like a girl. Fight like a girl. What does it mean to you when I say run like a girl?
It means run fast as you can.
So do you think you just insulted your sister?
No. I mean, yeah, insulted girls, but not my sister.
Is like a girl a good thing?
Actually, I don't know if it's a bad thing or a good thing. It sounds like a bad thing. It sounds like you're trying to humiliate someone.
So when they're in that vulnerable time between 10 and 12, how do you think it affects them when somebody uses like a girl as an insult?
I think it definitely drops their self-confidence and really puts them down, because during that time they're already trying to figure themselves out, and when somebody says you hit like a girl, it's like, well, what does that mean? Because they think they're a strong person. It's kind of like telling them that they're weak and they're not as good as them.
And what advice do you have to young girls who are told they run like a girl, kick like a girl, hit like a girl, swing like a girl?
Keep doing it, because it's working. If somebody else says that running like a girl or kicking like a girl or shooting like a girl is something that you shouldn't be doing, that's their problem. Because if you're still scoring and you're still getting to the ball on time and you're still being first, you're doing it right. It doesn't matter what they say. I mean, yes, I kick like a girl and I swim like a girl and I walk like a girl and I wake up in the morning like a girl because I am a girl. And that is not something that I should be ashamed of. So I'm going to do it anyway. That's what they should do.
If I asked you to run like a girl now, would you do it differently?
I would run like myself.
Would you like a chance to redo it?
Yeah.
Why can't run like a girl also mean win the race?
So this topic is really dear to me. I grew up with my father alone. So when we talk about gender bias, I feel it. I've grown up to this strong, powerful leader, business person. And in the world I grew up in, women were either depressive or housewives, or definitely not managers or leaders. And I had this thing inside me that wanted to come out, that wanted to have something to share, but I had nowhere to turn to. The only thing I knew was become like a guy and become a manager or something like that. And I was completely lost in this thing of where do I go? What does it mean to be a woman? How can I be a woman in this world? And there was no guidance. Nothing. I love this quote. It ain't what you don't know that gets you into trouble. It's what you know for sure that just ain't so. So what we worked on a lot is to acknowledge and basically see what it means to be in this contracted state. I'm going a bit faster now because so there's the conditioned view. The contracted state is these things we've learned, our beliefs, our responses, our reflexes. And most of the time we don't notice that we're in it, that we're acting in it, and we re-enhancing it over and over again. And so the work we do is about stepping back and noticing and questioning these things and stepping into this expanded state. So Dylan speaks about spirits and connects with God. My language is more around being and connecting with the oneness of all of it, with the flow, with being one with everything.
So just quickly, if I can say, you know you're in a contracted state when you're literally like this. Your shoulders are hunched, it's a defensive position. And then I immediately know when my back's up, I need to just get back down.
Yeah, it's very much an embodied thing. So it's not something that works on the level of cognition. Because as long as we're in here, we're still in here. So it's about dropping down, and this is one of the tools I use. So it's, in any situation, take a moment. If you notice my shoulders are coming up, or I'm getting tight, or just if you're not even noticing anything and you just feel like, oh, let me check in, you know, stop and take a breath. And Dylan said, it's not just one breath often. It's like, take a few breaths, take a whole lot of breaths, maybe take a walk around the block. Observe means check in, witness. What am I feeling? What am I thinking? How might these thoughts and feelings be connected? Might there be space between these things that open up? And only then proceed, only then step back into, okay, I've checked in, I'm acting from this bigger space rather than just this tiny me. So what's beautiful is as your awareness, as your spaciousness expands, options open up. There's not just one path ahead of you, but suddenly there's multiple perspectives to every problem, every situation. Suddenly there's multiple choices, and we really step into this ability, our true being of being infinite choice makers. And imagine every single moment you have an infinite number of choices. How incredible is that? It's pure potential, pure possibility out there, if we only allow it to be there. So, so this to me is, once these spaces open up and these choices open up, to me this is the picture of what opens up. We don't learn to be something different, but we access what really lies within ourselves. We start to access our true self that is beyond biases and beyond beliefs and beyond limitations. We access this thing that somehow magically is connected with everything. And as I move, it feels like everything moves with. Suddenly synchronicities happen, and we tap into an effortless way of being and doing. So as you connect to your true self, to your inner self, to that spaciousness, you connect into spontaneity, creativity, effortlessness. There's unconditional love, joy, playfulness, but also power, presence, clarity, focus. When I don't have to think about what others think. Oh my God, imagine all the energy, all the space I have to put into what I want to achieve, what I want to do. So, to me, this journey into true greatness is not an out there journey. We mistake it. We think once I've achieved this, I'll be that. Once this, I'll be that. It's an inner journey. We turn inwards. We find it within ourselves, and then we can bring it into the world. And the world has no choice but align with what you found within. So it's an inward journey. It's a journey of pausing, noticing, allowing emotions like this fear I talked about, allowing it to be there, having the ability to take a step back, remembering I'm so much more than this fear. So it's noticing and feeling, and first of all, embracing and really loving all of it. As long as I fight my fear will become stronger. Once I can let it be there, be like, okay, we have to do this together. It sort of fizzles. It starts to settle. Like a child sometimes just wants to be heard. My son sometimes just needs to be heard, and then he's chilled again, right? So we need to be able to feel and really love and acceptance, feel and accept all of it. So I just put in a couple of slides. So she can be fierce and courageous. She can be a bit grumpy and cross. She can be sexy, sensual. But she can also be all of this, right? And we have to embrace and feel and love all of it, because then we become our whole selves. We can become everything that we are. And we can start to live life instead of conceptualizing life. We can experience life instead of thinking life or planning life. We can really feel it, live it, and love it. And as it is, always starting, wherever we're heading, we're starting where we're at. We're starting by embracing what is this moment. As long as I resist this moment, I can't move there. I need to love all of this, and then I can get there. So, once more, feel and accept, super important. So through feeling and accepting, we can really connect to this inner girl, to the boss girl boss. The girl cell. There's a video clip, if we're allowed to show it just now, we will. It's Eve Ensler. It's from a TED talk, and her talk is about she calls it the girl cell, which is in everyone, and not just us women, not just girls, but it's in men and it's in all of us. So it's not about men and women, it's about human beings and what this girl cell means to her and could mean for us. So greatness is nowhere out there, but it's in you already. Wherever you are in your life, in your career, whatever it is, don't go looking out there, look inside. It's all there, and once you've found it in you, everything will align with it and will just fall into place. Because no present moment can be thought. The present moment, this moment here, can only be experienced. And the best and only way to prepare for really any moment in the future is to be fully present and aware here and now, and to rock up and show up and really be ourselves. Nothing is out there to find, it's all within you. Because all of us are made of magic. We allow ourselves to see. I think that's us. Thank you. So this is like a 3-4 minute clip. If you'd like, we'd love to share it with you. So it's called I'm an Emotional Creature. She's a playwright and a book author. And it's a little performance of what she, I suppose, understands of being a woman. And not just limiting that to women. So let's just take a look together. Thank you.
But while we're just getting that ready, I just wanted to say, for the first time in my life, I can be happy. So I don't know, you can have the most incredible house, you can be in a Zen garden and not feel peace, you can have everything that was on your checklist and not feel happy because you're up here. And the minute you can drop down in here, this is when you can actually just be grateful no matter where you live and what you're faced with. So.
I want to close today with a new piece from my book. And I want to do it tonight for the girl and everybody here. And I want to do it for Sunita. And I want to do it for the girls that Sunita talked about yesterday. The girls who survive, the girls who can become somebody else. But I really want to do it for each and every person here. To value the girl in us. To value the part that cries. To value the part that's emotional. To value the part that's vulnerable. To understand that's where the future lies. This is called I'm an Emotional Creature, and it happened because I met a girl in Watts, LA. I was asking girls if they liked being a good girl, and all the girls were like, no, I hate it, I can't stand it, it's all bad, my brothers get everything. And this girl just sat up and went, I love being a girl. I'm an emotional creature. This is for her. I love being a girl. I can feel what you're feeling as you're feeling inside the feeling before. I am an emotional creature. Things do not come to me as intellectual theories or hard-pressed ideas. They pulse through my organs and legs and burn up my ears. Oh, I know when your girlfriend's really pissed off, even though she appears to give you what you want. I know when a storm is coming. I can feel the invisible stirrings in the air. I can tell you he won't call back. It's a vibe I share. I am an emotional creature. I love that I do not take things lightly. Everything is intense to me. The way I walk in the street, the way my mama wakes me up, the way it's unbearable when I lose, the way I hear bad news. I am an emotional creature. I am connected to everything and everyone. I was born like that. Don't you say all negative that it's only a teenage thing or it's only because I'm a girl. These feelings make me better. They make me present. They make me ready. They make me strong. I am an emotional creature. There's a particular way of knowing. It's like the older women somehow forgot. I rejoice that it's still in my body. Oh, I know when the coconut's about to fall. I know we have pushed the earth too far. I know my father isn't coming back. and that no one's prepared for the fire. I know that lipstick means more than show, and boys are super insecure, and so-called terrorists are made, not born. I know that one kiss could take away all my decision-making ability. And you know what? Sometimes it should. This is not extreme, it's a girl thing, what we would all be if the big door inside us flew open. Don't tell me not to cry, to calm it down, not to be so extreme, to be reasonable. I am an emotional creature. It's how the earth got made, how the wind continues to pollinate. You don't tell the Atlantic Ocean to behave. I am an emotional creature. Why would you want to shut me down or turn me off? I am your remaining memory. I can take you back. Nothing's been diluted. Nothing's leaked out. I love, hear me, I love that I can feel the feelings inside you. Even if they stop my life. Even if they break my heart. Even if they take me off track, they make me responsible. I am an emotional, inconditional, devotional creature. And I love, hear me, I love being a girl. Can you say it with me? I love being a girl. Thank you very much.
Thank you. What I just want to add, what I love about her work, her as a feminist, she doesn't limit it to women. Thoughts of those came up earlier, but she talks about the girl cells and the girl self in everyone. So, and I feel that the more we can embrace the strength and the power of our feminine, we actually empower men to do the same. So it's not about us against them, it's about us owning that so that they can own it and live it and be it and feel and sense and thank you.
We've got time for 2 questions.
We've answered all the questions.
Yeah, no more questions. We've entered a space beyond questions.
If you can't think of something now, we're going to do prize giving again, and you girls are going to be around for a while. If you're half as emotional as I am, then I'm very glad I opened your face. I really want to thank the 2 of you for touching me, and therefore I assume a lot of us on so many levels. And it's so nice to be reminded of some of the things that we know, but being reminded clearly. So thank you so much. It was a wonderful experience.
Thank you. Thank you.